So, dear audiences, this is Ahmed Saikat, and I'm a student of International Relations at the University of Chittagong, and this is Mr. Professor Mozammel Hoque, who is a teacher of a philosophy department at this university. He has been teacher over here for 26 years, and this is my very first time when I showed my interest to have an interview with him. In fact, I'm going to ask him some very crucial questions about philosophy, because philosophy is a subject.
I like philosophy.
Yeah, he likes philosophy. He is a philosopher himself. He's a teacher of philosophy, and it's my pleasure that even though I'm a student of international relations, I became fascinated about this topic since I started learning these topics about political philosophy, religious philosophy, cultural philosophy. There are thousands of philosophical branches and things, and today I'm going to ask him from the very scratch, what does philosophy mean, in fact? Can you, sir, tell me what philosophy is all about?
Thank you very much, Saikat. Okay, philosophy is a discipline which deals with the big questions, you know?
Yes.
A question takes a, huge area to write down is not a big question. Actually, big question means the question which is related to the fundamental topics, basic, concepts, course. There is this big question. Second thing is that, so the issue or the topic will be the fundamental basic issue, which you can call big question. Second thing is that whatever you say, you must have argument for this.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Without any support of argument, nothing can be philosophical.
Yes.
And the third thing is that there should not be any boundary in philosophical discussion.
Right.
No one can say that you cannot ask this question. Even a question is a wrong question, with the argument you show that why the question is a wrong question and what could be the right question or the right answer. So it is not the definition of philosophy. Instead, it is something that by which we can identify something as philosophy.
Yes.
Big question,
yes.
Argumentation,
yes.
And then freeness.
Yes.
There cannot be any dogma.
Why does it matter? Why philosophy
philosophy matters because we the human beings, we have some virus in our head, suppose, in our mind, suppose, in us, because the virus is such that we want to know, we want to go beyond, we want to explore.
Yes.
Human being is such extraordinary something who bothers for the world, for the universe, for the life. No human, animal bothers actually for the becoming of that creature, the reality of the world, or anything. For suppose no animal bothers for the future.
Yes.
What would be the future? What could be? They don't bother for the past. They just live for the present.
Right. Yes.
But human beings, no matter he is an atheist, he is a theist, no matter he is a materialist or he is a dualist or idealist or he were so and so, it doesn't matter. Any human being has this kind of, some urge from within. Parochially, you can say this as virus or something like that.
Yes, thank you. How philosophy can answer us the basic question that whenever some people are asking us the kind of the relevance of philosophy, just Imam Ghazali said that philosophy is something which actually is not so much meaningful to many people, but it has great meanings to other people, right? Today I'm here to ask him the very basic, that whether it is the materialist, whether it is the idealist, who propose two kinds of different things. That materialist propose that matter is something which actually came forward and the universe was created, and the idealist came matter. That out of creation. Idealists say that and consciousness is the fundamental thing.
Ideas first.
For ideas first. So in this very nexus between the idealist and what I say materialist, which one would you like to prefer, or would you
actually the debate between idealism and materialism is a philosophical debate, and it is unending debate. Materialists say that matter is the ultimate thing from which the world has come in this position what we see right now.
Yes.
But the idealists say that where does matter come from? Okay. So if we go through the ontology of matter, the constitution of matter, the inner picture of the matter, we don't see the matter.
Yes.
Suppose matters are formed with atoms, and atoms has some particles, basic particles, electron, proton, neutron, and electron, proton, neutron. Otherwise there are some some particles which are not like electron, proton, neutron. Those are virtual particles or subparticles. Particles are constituted by gluons, and then quarks, and then what? And then
superatom.
And then we see some quantum probability and probability distribution. We don't see the last unit of the matter. What we can say the building block. There is no ultimate building block.
Yes.
Our limitation makes us stop somewhere, but we for sure we know that there are things beyond. We are gradually discovering, we are gradually going inside, and we are gradually going outside, but we have not reached the the edge of the matter. So what is the ultimate thing that is from which everything has been created? The idealist will answer the concepts of the real, and the matters are the examples of the ideal. So if we say the one pen is the example of oneness.
Yes.
One glass of water is example of oneness. One spectacle, pair of spectacle is the example of oneness. So one is an abstract idea, and the specific things are the exemplification or the examples or the manifestation of that abstract idea. But that concept, the idealism, is not okay. Actually all the philosophical questions and theories are paradoxical. Not conclusive.
Yes.
Actually each philosophical position, each philosophical theory and idea has some merits as well as some criticism.
Yes.
And demerits and flaws in the argument.
Yes, yes.
So as a human being, at the end of the day, we make our choice. We go for materialism, we go for idealism, so and so. So your question to which one is right, I don't think that the question is is a consistent question. Which one is right is a loaded question. Yes. From this very question we are as if we are decided that one is right. Maybe both are right, maybe both are wrong, maybe some third option is right. And within the debate of materialism and idealism, I think that neutral monism of Bertrand Russell is right. Neutral monism is that the real entity is neutral, it is unknowable, it is in beyond, we don't know that thing, but that beyond but real thing has two exposition or two outcome that we come to know. One is matter, one is mind.
Yes.
So the reality is beyond our capacity, but the outcome of the reality, we see the outcomes and we see in two forms. So neither one is the ultimate one. Both are outcomes of some different something.
So you want to say that the very question that the people, common people, ask to the philosophers or the very scholarly people, that who is correct? This question shouldn't be posed at all.
This is a fallacy. This is a fallacy within us. This is a fallacy within us that we think that one must be correct.
Yes.
Maybe both are correct, maybe both are wrong.
And you are not trying to go into the conclusion that a materialist are correct.
Philosophy is not meant to give you a conclusion. Instead, philosophy is meant to show you the alternatives.
Yes.
And to make it clear to you the arguments for and against, the merits and demerits, the prospects and constraints. And as a person, as a human being, with your outlook, with your paradigm, with your intentionality, you make a choice.
Yes.
So it's up to you.
Yes. So whenever we're talking about the difference between the science and philosophy, science
is based on observation. Basically.
It's giving us some kind of concluding remarks that when talking about
the area of science is limited. Okay. Yes. If we say that, what is this thing? Well, this is the pen. The measurement, the color, all these things are scientific.
Yes.
But I am holding this pen in this way, not in suppose in this way.
Right.
This is philosophy.
Yes.
I'm putting the pen on my ears like a, you know, technical person that we see.
Yes.
I'm not a technical person. I'm a teacher. I'm not supposed to give the pen on my, you know, ear. Ear holding there.
Yes.
So it's indecent. So this sense of decency and indecency is not in science.
In science.
It is in philosophy.
So science, also the importance of philosophy is that it teaches us decency, it teaches us morality.
It goes beyond the science.
Beyond the science.
It includes the scientific findings and foundations and everything. It conceives science.
Yes.
But it is not confined within science. It goes beyond the science. If you, with the example of this pen, this very pen, putting the pen, if I, you know, drinking from this glass of water, it's decent.
Yes.
But if it is a bottle of water and we are sharing the water in the bottle, and if I, you know, drink it in this way, touching my lips, it will be indecent.
Indecent.
And unhygienic in a sense.
Yes.
But all the matter to science is the, you know, pressure, is the, you know, amount of water, all the things. But there is no decency there.
Yes.
Suppose I am boiling water in the kettle. So all the procedure, how it is going on there is science. But I am boiling the water to make a cup of tea, suppose, or coffee. This is my purpose.
Yes.
The purpose is not the scientific description.
Yes, yes, yes.
So the purpose is within us.
Yes.
And the goodness and badness, rightness and wrongness of the purpose is a matter of philosophy.
Okay, thank you so much. I want to ask him the relevance, the very relevance of existence of religious values, moralities. Why religion matters? Can you not live a society? Can you just what a society without religion have done so wonderful in Soviet Union, like from 1917 to 1990. You know why you people are making the discussion divisions within the people by putting on the religious beliefs. Can you not build a society without religion?
Actually, the question is the relevance of religion from ethical point of view.
Yes.
Your question, so far I have understood it. So religion is not a must for ethics.
Yes,
it's clear. But the people of the religion that do think and propagate and try to claim that because you don't have religion, you cannot have actual objective or good morality. You cannot be an ethical person without religion.
Yes.
But that's wrong. Religion is a source of morality, is a kind and pattern of ethics and morality, but religion is not the source or the only source of ethics and morality. So where from ethics and morality come from actually, if religion is not the source? It comes from philosophy.
Yes.
Why do suppose some people want to contribute for the well-being of the people when he knows that whenever he will die, he will just end up in dust and in the soil, and there is no afterlife, there is no continuation? Why does he become serious to contribute for the society, for the well-being, betterment of the people? Because he feels some ethical responsibility from within.
Yes.
And that comes from the underlying philosophy that life is continued. Not in the physical form, but in the ethical form, suppose, in some extra physical form. So we recall people as good people, bad people. We don't necessarily brand them, try to identify them. Those are religious people or not.
Yes.
So religion is a form of ethics, but not the only form of ethics. The second part, actually the first main question of your main part of your question is, what is the relevance of religion?
Yes.
Why? Relevance of religion is that not for ethics. Relevance of religion is for philosophy.
Yes.
Philosophy is playing a role within religion and science, and people from religion directly wants to engage with science, and people for science, which I call scientists, those pro-science people, usually which is called as scientism, the people who exercises scientism. The problem is that what can you say the people who exercises scientism? You cannot say that scientist, because all the scientists are not pro-science people who wants to answer all the questions by science findings, by science, through science. So I introduced a term for that. It is scientism. If I say in Bangla, Bigyanbad, it is the scientist, the people who wants to answer all the questions directly by science.
I mean,
so let me finish it first. So the people of science, specifically those people who want to answer all the basic questions, philosophical questions, including by science, scientifically. That's a wrong approach. Actually, philosophy is the middle area between science and philosophy. So people actually engage very quickly science or religion, but philosophy is in the middle. So what does philosophy do? Philosophy shows you some alternatives. So you have alternatives. What can you do with those alternatives? You have to make a choice. You have to. If you don't make a choice, some choice will be upon you. You will be branded with a position. As an example, if I say very quickly on the question of God, suppose some people say yes, God does exist. Those are the theist people. Some people say no, God does not exist. They are the atheist people. Some people say I'm not sure about, or I cannot come to know ultimately. Those are the skeptic agnostic position. Agnosticism is the
in middle of
agnosticism is the consequence of skepticism. Skepticism claims that I don't know, I'm not sure, I'm yet to be sure. And agnosticism says that it is not knowable for me. I have interest on the subject, but it is beyond my capacity. It is agnostic position. So theist position, atheist position, agnostic position. There could be a fourth position, like who don't bother for the issue, whose position we can say irrelevantist position, who is a free thinker, suppose. And there could be a fifth position who is an opportunist. He agrees with all with the majority opinion. What is favorable for him, he identifies him with that. If it is theism, then he is a theist. If it is atheism, he is an atheist. The mainstream of the society determines his or her own idea. So he's an opportunity basically. So somebody could be an opportunist. This is not a position at all. Somebody could be a free thinker or irrelevantist. Somebody could be an atheist. Somebody could be a theist, or somebody could be skeptic or agnostic. These are the options. You cannot find a further more option. So within these 5 options, you have to make a choice. And when you make a choice, you actually cancel all others. So, if within the very strong debate between empiricism and rationalism, what will be the source of your knowledge? Experience or reason? If you claim that reason is the source which can give you the better knowledge always, then you are a rationalist. If you say that experience can actually gives you the right answer, then you are an empiricist. So when you go for one ism, then actually you end up in a belief system, and you cancel all other philosophical positions. So as a teacher of philosophy, you can teach all the positions and say for and against, but as a human being, as a cognitive agent, as a rational person, you have to make a choice. And if you don't make a choice, then you will be of the position, suppose irrelevantist position, supposed opportunist position. So when you identify yourself with a position, you actually negate and cancel all other options. So when as a learner, you find that experience is the ultimate source. What is the basis of that? Not experience, but you trust on experience, your belief on experience. When you become a rationalist, you think that reason is the ultimate criteria. But you are a learner, you have not got all the knowledge, and that you have decided that rational knowledge is the right knowledge. You have earned a little knowledge, and you have believed that you you trust on reason. That's why you become a rationalist. So when you become a rationalist or an empiricist, or you go for any ism of philosophy, you actually end up the freeness of philosophy. It's like quantum mechanics. When you see a particle, it collapses the wave function. Yes. It becomes a particle. So when you identify a philosophical position, you end up in belief, which is a religion, if we identify religion as a system of
So once again,
belief.
you want to tell me the very paradoxical position that every
philosophical statement is paradoxical. Nothing can be conclusive. Yep. If someone says that this is the philosophical position, he is wrong, he is a liar, or he is a stupid.
He doesn't know about the philosophy.
Yeah, philosophy is a tool, is a method. You can, or you should, or you have to use it.
Yes, to learn.
But it will not give you an answer. Yes. You make your own answer.
Yes. Okay, thank you so much. And I'm here to talk about the relevance of philosophy as a discipline in Bangladesh perspective. Whenever we're talking about two kinds of studies, like when you have kind of arts faculties in the universities of Bangladesh, where philosophy is actually taught with a wide variety of changes. I mean, when philosophy was first introduced in Bangladesh, I mean, I'm talking about the post-liberation war time, why kind of the changes we have in philosophical studies, we have no enough what I say development or kind of the international reputation comparing with India, Pakistan and rest of the other countries. Can we not improve our philosophy once
again? You know, if you mean the study and the development of Bangladesh philosophy, which is called actually, that is a different question. And the question why philosophy in Bangladesh is not worldwide renowned, and there is no such renowned philosopher and contributor in philosophy. Why this? Because who is prominent philosopher from suppose India, worldwide renowned? Who is that? Contemporary period? No one.
Arundhati Roy.
No, is a philosopher. You should differentiate between a thinker, suppose an intellectual, and a philosopher.
Yes.
A philosopher is an intellectual, but all the intellectuals are not philosopher.
Right.
There is philosophy.
Gayatri Spivak.
There is Spivak.
Gayatri Spivak. She is a post-structuralist philosopher. Right. She is internationally renowned too.
Right. She is an Indian. She is Indian origin, but not Indian.
Yes.
Okay. Had I been in Western countries, I could be I could have been a renowned philosopher, suppose.
Yes.
So Arundhati Roy or Spivak, or there is no name who is residing in India, in Pakistan, in Bangladesh, in some eastern countries, and who is a renowned philosopher.
Yes.
For two reasons. One reason is that there is a sociology of knowledge and about that. They are the masters, they are the colonial masters, and what they are thinking, what they are writing, what they are saying, we are just following.
Yes.
So we are colonized, and we are in a sense second-class citizen, and less category people compared to them.
Yes.
This is our inferiority complexity, and this is their superior position. Yes. But this is conspiracy theory. If I just rest on this argument, there is another argument is that which is inherent in Eastern philosophy.
Yes.
The major trends in Eastern philosophy is three philosophy: Muslim philosophy, Indian philosophy, and Chinese Japanese philosophy, yes, which we call Far Eastern philosophy.
Far Eastern philosophy.
So among the Far Eastern philosophy, or in Indian tradition, or in Muslim philosophy, it is not developed. It was developed at some time.
Yes.
Now it is just a continuation. It's a history. There is no analytic power in Eastern philosophy. Eastern philosophy is basically based on quest of salvation, spirituality, emotivism, and so many non-philosophical elements are strong in Eastern trends of philosophy.
Right.
So what should I say? It is called bhakti in Indian philosophy, that is submission. Our
Islam also means the submission to
in
God's will.
Philosophy, in Indian philosophy, you cannot add even nothing in Indian philosophy other than supporting different schools of philosophy.
Yes.
And in Islamic tradition, this is a very crucial question. Actually, I'm a Muslim personally, and Islam is my religion. Somebody may misunderstand me, but I have answered to this question, but let me put the question first. How can there be philosophy, a discipline which has no boundary? You cannot ask any question, and whatever you say, you must show proper argument for that. So how can there could be scope of such a discipline in the framework of a belief system where Tawheed, that means the oneness of God, is the central?
Yes.
In philosophy, you can deny the existence of God. You can be an atheist. You could be a skeptic. You could be a free thinker. You could be an opportunist as well.
Yes.
Necessarily, you won't be a theist. And even though if you are a theist, you could be a polytheist, suppose.
Yes.
But Islamic is monotheism.
Yes.
So believing in God is not sufficient. Actually, you have to believe in one God.
Yes.
And in the prophecy of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this is Islamic religion. So how can there be philosophy within a religious boundary of some belief system? This is also a very crucial question. So one is that we are not colonial masters, they are the masters.
So you want to say that philosophy is colonized?
In a sense, partially,
yes.
It is colonized. We cannot deny this. This is irrefutable, obvious, that we are followers, they are the leaders.
Yes.
Okay, whatever is written by them is publishing in some prestigious journals.
Yes.
We are not fluent in English, and we cannot produce the write-ups in that form. And actually, we don't get the publications quickly. We cannot put references.
Yes.
So at the very first chance, we are dropped out of the scenario. So this is the one cause. Second cause is the inherent, inherent emotions and respect and some non-philosophical aspects that are dominant in Eastern trends.
Yes.
Quest for salvation, spirituality, so and so. These are non-philosophical elements. Those are very much strong in Eastern trends, in Indian philosophy and Muslim philosophy, all these things. So this is the second point. The third point is that we the people, we are not open-minded and we are not analytic.
Yes.
So for all this reason, actually we don't have renowned philosophers.
And we can actually talk about Professor Dr. Mohammad Iqbal from Pakistan, who was actually
Iqbal was not a Pakistani philosopher. He died before Pakistan was established, but he was a dreamer of
Pakistan state.
In that sense.
I'm also giving him the very accommodation.
But he is not a Pakistani. So, as Nazrul is not Bangladeshi.
Right.
Yes. Nazrul ended up his writings and creativity before the creation of Bangladesh.
Yes. So thank you so much. And I want to ask him a very simple question about the Sufism, right? Sufism is very much liked by people of Western world. Why this very trend within the Sufism is so much liked by the people of Hindu culture, Hinduism, people of other faiths too. Even the atheist people, who they also have great amount of respect for Sufism. Is it because the Sufism is giving so much, freedom for the people to do whatever they want, freedom to actually pursue their beliefs and reforms? Why Sufism is so popular? Why?
That's a very interesting question, and I'd like to respond or quote unquote answer the question in a philosophical way. That means I don't have any research data and findings. I'm saying with my own concepts and ideas, you can say common sense. So actually Sufism is, the real form of Sufism is mysticism.
Yes.
Mysticism is spirituality. So Sufism is Islamic mysticism. Islamic mysticism. I am a Bengali speaking person. In Bangla we say it Islami Moromibad.
Yes.
So Sufism is Islamic mysticism. Mysticism in Islamic form, or Islamic form of mysticism. What should I say? Anything is all right. Why do other people of not religion, or people who don't follow religion or like religion, or who are materialist, or free thinker, or atheist even, do like mysticism or Sufism, Islamic mysticism? Because everyone has to have religion.
Yes.
So those people, that
atheist people are also religious.
Are also religion, and I'm not imposing my ideas on them.
Yes.
Actually, this is their position. I'm just making a clarification to them.
Yes.
For that, I'm putting the distinction between the philosophical God and personal God. If you believe in some absolute, some infinite, some ultimate entity or something, it is the attribute of God. But that God is not the personal God that we do worship, and we do give our rituals to Him.
Oh, yes.
So there are two kind of God. One is personal God, God
another one is
worshipped by the
collective
religions.
God. Yes.
And God in the philosophical sense. So philosophical sense, God is not the personal God. So Einstein's God is a philosophical God. Suppose Leibniz God is a philosophical God. Okay. So then come to religion. So atheism is a religion. Materialism is a religion. Any position that I have shown in my, one of my, chart, that starting from observation, if you expand the area, you will fall down in philosophy, in the argumentation of philosophy.
Yes.
And whenever you go for any specific position of philosophy, and if you prefer one argument and one position than all others, actually you end up in a belief system.
Yes.
In that sense, rationalism is also a dogmatism. And I am not inventing this. This is established in philosophical discourse.
Yes.
Whenever you go for any ism, you actually become a believer, a person who entrusts on that system. So in that sense, it is a religion. So when the atheist person, suppose, what is his religion? His religion is in the religion of an atheist, there is no God, and there is no, at least no personal God, there is no ritual,
right?
But there is one thing which is a religious phenomena and central of religion, which I have mentioned it in this chart, that religion is ritual, sense of transcendence and belief system. God is not necessary in religion. Suppose Buddhism is a major religion without God. But what makes something religion?
What makes?
I have identified three things: ritual, sense of transcendence, and belief system.
Yes.
You see, what is sense of transcendence? When suppose Richard Dawkins sees in the vastness of the cosmos, okay, what does he feel? He says that religious person do think that we don't feel anything, any sense of transcendence, so and so. You will be surprised to know that in Western University there are courses, I have explored all the courses, spirituality without religion.
Yes.
So sense of transcendence is the source of spirituality.
Yes.
When we go for some national, whatever we say, Shahid Minar, martyrdom, memorial monument, you go on barefoot. Why do you go on barefoot?
Yes.
You give flower offerings. You are not worshipping.
Yes.
But why do you do it?
It's a sign
because
of
you have some subjective inner feelings, some emotions.
Yes.
Some sense of transcendence, something significant, something extra material, something personal, something deep emotional.
Yes.
Those things are mysticism. And mysticism in Islamic form is called Sufism.
Yes.
That's why people, adore, that they like, and actually they are positive to spirituality, to Sufism, whereas they are repugnant to religion.
Yes, thank you so much. So, sir, you want to say that, you know, this very form of Islam, Sufism, it's more secular, it's more personal.
Actually,
that's why Western
Sufism,
world is so much.
Sufism, because Sufism, you know, it's a personal emotion, sense of transcendence, mysticism, and all these things. So, if you read the history of Islam, you'll find that some people claimed prophecy when they saw that Mohammad has claimed prophecy and he's got so much power. So there are false prophets. One of the false prophets had a debate with Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and he asked him that you put something in your mind, I am going to say it. I'm telling you what you are thinking about. And the Prophet thought a verse from the Quran, which is in Surah Dukhan. And that false prophet, this person was able to say, you are thinking about where there is the word dukh. So, for the protection of the prophet, he was not able to say the whole theme or sentence, but he was able to pick a word from his mind. So, that false prophet actually got some spiritual power. So, spiritual power, spiritual anything does not mean Islam. Islam is Islam has Sharia. So jurisprudence and ethics and spirituality. Islam is a blending of
all of the things,
spiritual and mundane things all together.
So whenever you talk about the very word,
when you have spiritual excellency, spiritual excellency and development, it doesn't mean that you are good people. We come to know this from the famous story in the Quran, Musa alayhi salam and Khizir alayhi salam.
Moses.
Which we call Moses. Moses, the Khizir, the spiritual person, he knew so many things more than Moses. But Moses is the prophet. There is a famous story in the Quran. So, knowing so many things and have a spiritual development doesn't mean that you are a good person.
So, you want to say that whenever people are...
By contemplation, you can attain so many things. But your contemplation will not enlighten the society. How the society will run, how the state will run, how will be the economy, how will be the culture, how will be the human life.
The Western people,
it's not a matter of mysticism and contemplation.
Western secular people, secular intellectuals are so much afraid of the collective Islam, where Islam, when they want to say that we want to accept a part of Islam, which is Sufism, and we want to exclude the part of Islam, which is political Islam.
They like the sweet Islam, not the sour Islam.
Sour Islam. So that's the point. Thank you so much. And you will be actually talking about Darwinism today, because Darwinism is something which is pretty much provocative when controversial and sensitive, and whenever we're talking about the religious people, they are very much afraid that Darwinism is very much misunderstood, because people like Charles Darwin, in fact, he was there in Ireland, and he was having kind of research or kind of observation on some animals, and he came to the conclusion about the human species, and his thesis or concluding was kind of very much against the religious belief system. That's why huge amount of people had great amount of disrespect or kind of resistance towards it. I mean, it actually happened to the Nicholas Copernicus, people like Galileo, and lots of other scholars in the world history. So now I want to ask you a simple question about Darwinist theory, that why Darwinism is so much misunderstood in the perspective of Bangladesh, especially to the Muslims.
To the religious persons.
To the religious persons. Can you just actually explain these things for us then?
Thank you, Ahmed Saikat, to put a very interesting question. Actually, it is a great misunderstanding about evolution and Darwinism. Darwinism is a part of evolution. It's a version of evolution. So, are people against Darwinism or against evolution? That question is actually more fundamental question. So, to say about Darwinism, I'm not very much well informed about Darwinism, because I didn't read the book Origin of a Species.
Yes.
But Darwinism is very much relevant and important because we are talking about Darwinism.
Yes.
Why? And you said that it is controversial, it is highly debated and sensitivity and so on. So,
yes.
So it all means that it is significant and is important.
Yes.
It is relevant.
Yes.
Okay. Why it is relevant? Because it involves the very question where from we. What is the becoming of us?
Yes.
How did we have come in this position that we are right now?
Yes.
What is our origin?
Yeah.
So that is a philosophical question, and Darwin wanted to answer the question by scientific research and studies. So having said this, let's come to evolution. What does evolution? Is a theory that says that life has evolved from simple to complex.
Yes.
This is the very simple, interpretation of evolution.
So the prehistory of the humankind was egalitarian. You're talking about that one as simple. That prehistory, the man from the very beginning was very much communitarian.
Egalitarianism is actually a different thing.
Yes.
In Darwinism, egalitarian may be a related aspect, but not the main theme.
Yes.
Theme is that life has evolved from simple to complex in this position.
Right.
So, for that, the terms has come nature, natural selection, survival of the fittest, and so on. So, the alternative theory to evolutionism is the creationism.
Yes.
That God has created everything as well as human being.
Yes.
Directly in this form, and He has sent them on this earth.
Yes.
Okay. How we don't know, but in His own way. Suppose not from very simple cell to evolution to these complex entities or human beings.
Right.
This is creationism.
Right.
God has created directly, kun fayakun, let there be, and it has become. And come to existence, and we are in this.
And Darwin is telling that we human beings are the.
No, actually, I'm not, interested in Darwinism. I'm more interested and talking about evolution.
Yes. Oh. Okay.
Evolution, which is the basis of Darwinism.
Yes.
Darwinism is a form of evolution. Darwinism is a mechanical form of evolution. There are creative evolution. There are emergent evolution. There are
scientific evolution, social evolution.
There are even different forms of evolution.
Yes. Yeah.
So, the basic concept of evolution is the life from simple to complex.
Yes.
And the alternative theory is the creationism, that God has created directly all these things with all the complexities. He has created the simple one, He has created the complex one. And in His own way that we don't know, He has sent us, He has put us in this way or on this earth, so and so. This is creationism. So among this debate, if you or anybody want to ask me as a professional philosopher, you say which position is philosophical, I would like to say that both positions are philosophical. There is no single philosophical position.
Yes.
Okay. But again, if you want to know, or someone asks me what is your position, actually my position is in favor of evolution.
Yes.
But someone will say that apparently you are a religious person, you are claiming that, and you are a practicing Muslim. How could you be, as a believer, you believe in evolution?
Yes.
But I have a lengthy discussion on evolution in the YouTube. It is a discussion of couple of hours, 3 to 4 hours, and I have talked with some students from different universities on evolution.
Yes.
But within a couple of minutes that I want to, hint the discussion, the main key points of the discussion, evolution is all about the evolve or the change of the lives, development of the lives. Suppose the tree of life.
Yes.
Okay, tree of life. We are on a leaf, on a branch, a human being. Suppose the closest branch is the apes or the monkeys, suppose. So and so.
Homo erectus, Homo sapiens.
Whatever. I say. As a philosopher, I need not to go within these complexities and difficult terms.
Yes.
I am capable enough to deal all these terminological hazards.
Yes.
The concept is that life from simple to complex. But where from life originated?
Yes.
Richard Dawkins, the prophet of all these things, we can say, his theory was life has come with a asteroid from Mars or any other planet.
Yes.
the seed of life.
Right.
Okay. So the question is shifted. How does life evolve there? How it actually did there? You know, it got there at the very first place, and it has come in later on here on this earth.
Yes.
If you say that this is not in this glass, this is in that glass, the question is just you know, shifted. So if you say that it is not from here but from there, it is begging the question, fallacy, that actually Dawkins has done. Life has come from another planet. So how did it develop there in that another planet?
Yes.
So evolution is silent about the very question. This is more fundamental question.
Yes.
Then come from simple to complex. It is so obvious. The second law of thermodynamics, we know that the entropy is increasing. It's obvious. Everything is getting complicated much and more. It is obvious. So to deny it is a simple stupidity.
The second law of thermodynamics is talking about the destruction of the humanity and destruction of the universe.
Whatever the destruction you call it destruction, but it is giving rise to new form.
Yes.
Nothing is you know, annihilation.
Yes.
Destruction is meaning something new form, transfer of the form. So you see, the evolve of life is obvious.
Yes.
How can a person with common sense can deny it? I don't know. Then come to the third and the last part of the question, a most crucial question: why does God feed in this evolution scenario? Okay. How did it happen in this way?
Yes.
How did it happen? You can give a very consistent description about the running of the car without the driver.
Right.
Why it stopped? Because the brake, you know, is pulled. Why it has gone in this way? Because it turned the you know, wheels turned in this way.
So
why you can give all the you know, alone consistent description by minusing the driver.
Yes. So
that will be consistent.
The driverless world is going to be an accident. There is going to be accident.
Now, my point is that if you minus the driver,
yes,
the car will not be running.
Will not be running.
Well, in future, in a decade, suppose there will be no car driven by human being, self-driving, you know, car will be there. But right now, if you minus the driver, the car or the vehicle will not be running.
Yes.
On the road.
Yes.
But you can give a description. This is the problem of coherentism. Coherentism is a theory in our philosophy that consistency is the meaning.
Yes.
But you can give a consistent thing. Suppose what I said to my students, someone is murdered, nobody is found murderer. So from evidentialist point of view, there is no murderer, but reality is that somebody has murdered. So truth and evidence is not the same thing.
Yes.
There may be truth without any evidence, and there may be something evident but not true but false. So you can give a consistent description how things happened. That doesn't give you the answer why it happened.
Yeah.
So God fits in that scenario. If I show you this chart, science deals with the what question in the how format.
Yes.
On basis of observation.
Yes.
And philosophy deals with the what question in the why format, why things happen on basis of arguments. So from philosophical point of views, well, evolution is accepted. Why it happened in this way, not in another way.
Another format.
So someone can say that I actually claim it that God has designed it, and there are so many verses in the Quran where evolution is confirmed.
Yes.
Allah says that I do all the things systematically, from simple to complex, from water to this existence, from mud to this human body.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So in that long discussion that is in the YouTube, in my channel Philosophy and Life, you'll find it there, and you will be surprised to know that the ancient Muslim philosophers and thinkers, they en masse supported evolution.
Yes.
We had a chart of Ibn Sina, you know, how human, you know, souls develop from, you know, inanimate material form to plant form to animal form to this human life.
Sir, I want to interrupt you.
Jalaluddin Rumi
Yes.
had a poem.
Yes.
You know, read it, that where he, a lengthy poem where he described the becoming of the human being from evolutionary process, evolutionary process.
And Umar Khayyam.
And Umar Khayyam, and I can, you know, relate to you our present day thinker, suppose Maulana Akram Khan. Akram Khan was a rationalist, and he supported evolution,
Yes.
but not Darwinian evolution.
Yes.
Okay, Darwinian evolution is a mechanical evolution. Nature is not an entity, but matter selects.
Yes.
So, if someone is not conscious, is not an agent, is not a person, how can he select?
Yes.
Richard Dawkins has shown an example of selection. He divided the audience with a question, and he has put another question and divided the audience. He put another question and divided the audience. In this way, he has come to a person, a specific person, and he said that when I was putting the question, raising the question, I was not knowing that I will come here to this person.
Yes.
But apparently it seems that I have put these questions to select this person. This is called anthropic principle.
Yes.
Anthropic principle. It apparently looks like that the process has been set in this way for the becoming of that person. But it may come blindly. But the problem is that this is not science. Science should have testability, science should have reproducible characteristics, and anything of science should be testable.
Yes.
So, what they are saying in the name of evolution, the scientist people, they are misusing science, because if you throw some colors on the wall, it may be a drawing. If you shoot without opening your eyes, it may hit the target. Okay, if you keep a monkey on a typewriter for infinite time, it is possible that the monkey will be able to write a prose or poem or poetry or anything meaningful. But those are very silly approaches.
Right.
Those, probability is so minor that they are statistically very insignificant. So why do the atheist people believe in that, very, very insignificant, tiny possibility?
Yes.
That something can become without any purpose. So, if there is a God and he has done all these things systematically, he must adopt evolution to create man.
Yes.
That could be an argument.
Yes.
But this is not scientific argument. This is a
philosophical argument.
Thank you.
So this is Professor Mozammel Hoque, and I want to talk about the fundamentalism, whether it be religious or irreligious fundamentalism. I mean, back in 1917 to 1990, there was a communist world where actually thousands of people were killed by people like Stalin, and there were Muslim terrorists across the world who have been actually killing too many people in the name of religion. So I mean, I want to say
Twin Tower attack.
Twin Tower attack. It's a conspiracy theory. I don't want to talk about it.
There is a conspiracy theory.
There is a conspiracy theory about things.
9/11 of Michael Moore.
Michael Moore, yes. Yeah. Michael Moore is a very wonderful person. So I want to talk about the extremism, whether it be religious or irreligious. Extremism is always pernicious and threatening and very, very harmful for human society to thrive. So how can the learning of philosophy, I mean, we are a Muslim, predominant Muslim country, Bangladesh.
You want to curtail, or you want to delimit or negate extremism?
Yes, extremism. How can the teaching of proper philosophy and religious studies make people more tolerant about the discussions?
Well, thank you very much. I am a student of philosophy, actually a professional philosopher.
Yes.
And he is a student of international relations, and he knows much more about all these things, but he wants to know, I suppose, the philosophical outlook about extremism and tolerance and inclusion, suppose pluralism.
Yes.
Okay, firstly I will be in favor of extremism, because every ideology is extreme. If you have an ideology, if you are in favor of a position, what do you want? You want to make all the people within that framework.
Yes.
You want to include all the people within your concept, and to bring them in a position that they are also become followers as you. You like it, and you have to like it if you are a true, sincere follower of that ideology. So, in a sense, to be inclusive without is to be, without any ideology, and not to identify with any ideology. But ontologically, it is impossible. If you don't like any ideology, then you will be an opportunist. That is also a position.
Yes.
That is also an ethical position.
Yes.
Ethical position in that sense, when you breach the law, don't abide by the law, you give, suppose, some monetary, or you face some punishment. But when you face some punishment, you are also within the law, in a sense.
Yes.
So, when you make something as your principle, you follow it, then it is your ethics. Ethics should not be necessarily always good, but whether there is all good ethics or not, this is a very highly ethical question. So, what I am telling or meaning that, making choice for an ideology, to hold some ideology, to believe in some specific norms and principles, is actually something which makes you fundamental, which makes you intolerant, which makes you aggressive to the opposite ones, to the other ones.
Yes.
In a sense.
Yes.
Okay. So, at the end of the day, we all are followers of ideologies. We have our ideology, and I can claim that my ideology inclusive, and other people can say that others' ideology inclusive.
So, what about interest?
And inclusiveness is not necessarily the criteria of ideology.
Yes.
Oh, okay, you can be inclusive about for that 2 plus 3 is equal to 6. And 5 and 4 and anything else, all are correct.
Yes.
So this is the political position, but we know that this is a fallacy. This is called, relevantist fallacy.
Yes.
When you say that truth is relative. Truth is relative, that statement is not relative.
Yes.
This is absolute.
Absolute.
This is ontology. Then come to philosophy. How philosophy, but at the end of the day, lastly, to live in a society as a citizen, suppose, we have to be inclusive, we have to be tolerant, and we should avoid extremism.
Yes.
Okay, we should not be imposing our ideologies on others.
Yes.
Okay.
But there are some people trying to impose their ideology on others.
We say that those are bad people, but philosophically those people are not bad people. They are the true, sincere followers of ideologies.
Of their ideologies.
Of their ideologies. So, keeping this philosophical dispute, let us proceed on how philosophy can contribute making people tolerant and inclusive and, civilized, not extreme. In philosophy, there are options. When you think your position, you think that it is right, actually you accept the favorable arguments, favorable evidences, and claim that it is good for you, and you think that it is also could be good for others. But when you exercise philosophy, you know that there are other arguments against your position. There are some arguments which are for other people's position.
Yes.
Okay, suppose when as a theist you are in a society with the atheist people, with the skeptic people, suppose with the free thinkers people, suppose you know that philosophy provides some positions, some arguments for their position, some evidences for their position. They have philosophical support. So you have philosophical support, I have philosophical support. Eventually you prefer this line of thought, I prefer this line of thought. You go for this argument, I go for that argument. If we are in a philosophical framework, we have to be tolerant, because I know that my intentionality makes me to take this position, and your intentionality provides you the justifiability of that position.
Yes, I want to say one thing. There are actually both the extremist people, and I'm talking about the people of the basically extremist people in a country, everywhere around the world. They are very much talented, and the people who are extremists, who are atheists, they are also very talented.
But they lack their philosophical outlook. If they had their philosophical outlook, they wouldn't be such.
Yes.
Because philosophy is options.
Yes.
If you go for one option, you still know that there are other options.
Yes.
And those options also have philosophical foundations and arguments for their position.
Yes.
So when you know that, you accept this, but other positions that you actually deny have their own position, have their own argument, have their own reason.
Yes, sir.
So automatically you will be inclusive. So philosophy can provide the sufficient tolerance among people if they have philosophical outlook.
Yes.
So that means whatever you think right, it is right because you prefer to think that it is right.
So Karl Marx was telling that religion is the opium of the masses. His religion is used by the bourgeois society.
He actually wanted
suppress.
to mean, repression.
Yes.
That was going on in the name of religion. In our society, even we see there are oppressions, there are ignorance, there are bad things that are going on in the name of religion.
Yes.
But from this, you cannot make a conclusion. You should not take a conclusion then oppression is necessarily from religion only.
Yes.
Religion could be a source of oppression.
Yes.
But any ideology could be aggressive.
Yes.
And any ideology could be, totalitarian and, dogmatic.
Which is very harmful.
And it can repress people. It can, do harm to the society. Anything can be, evil for us if we take it in a dogmatic way.
Yes. So there are actually good atheists. There are also good religious people. The good religious people. Good or it's not about actually religiosity or irreligiosity. It's about the persons. Okay.
Religion is the upper thing of humanity.
Yes.
So the person who is humanly good, who has human qualities, he will be a good person no matter he is a religious person or religious person.
So if it is the case, so can you not exclude religion? Can you not exclude atheism from the world? Can you not make the world in a society where the question of religion will never come through?
When the question comes of exclusion,
yes,
it becomes a religion.
Yes.
How could you exclude something?
Can we secularize the world?
Well, come to the question. How can you exclude religion? Religion is based on the fundamental questions.
Yeah.
Suppose Islam. Islam says there is a God.
Yes.
The world has been created by the God. This is the metaphysical question.
Yeah.
This is a metaphysical question. How does the world has come from? What is the origin of these things?
Yeah.
What is the ultimate fate of all these things?
Yeah.
Religion is a kind of answer.
Yes.
Okay. You can regret the answer, but you cannot regret the question.
Yes.
If you cannot regret the question, you should, accept the alternatives.
Yes.
And within alternatives, you prefer this position, not that position, but you cannot exclude that. And if you exclude support religion, you should exclude and uproot the roots of religion.
Yeah.
But the roots of religion is not in society, not in culture. It is in philosophy.
It is in, and for the greater good of the audiences out there, I want to say, Professor Mozammel Hoque sir is telling that religion is not only about the traditional mainstream conventional religion. He's talking about the atheistic religion. Communism is also a religion. Secularism is a religion. To you.
Okay. Religion in communism, suppose, are there any sacred things? Of course there are.
Of course there are. Spirituality, personal
spirituality is there.
Spirituality is there.
Okay. Rituals are there. Sense of transcendence is there.
Yes.
Some basic beliefs are there. If you don't believe in the the main principles of Marxism, you cannot be a communist.
Yes. Yes, and it's inherent in our humanity that people want to worship some people, like Mao Zedong. He is worshipped by the Chinese communist people.
It is hardwired in human being.
Yes.
They want to do two things.
Yes.
Every human is bound to do these two things. One is to submit to some superior one. Another is to dominate on some inferior ones.
That's what. Thank you so much. That was very wonderful. Dear audiences, I want to ask a very simple question to Professor Mozammel Hoque sir about the creation of humanity. I mean, there are thousands of scientific proofs that it was actually 6 billion years ago when first human beings came to the world, that there are some stones invented by the scientists that human being, they got the human beings kind of a species which is actually more than 6 billion years ago. But in fact, when we just count the policies about the Adam, the Jesus, and kind of the things, Moses, it took for the Moses to come to the world for what I say thousands of years ago. It took Adam for years to thousands of years.
Comparatively short period.
Comparatively, it took 10,000 years. Yes, 10,000 years. I have come forward to learn these very important things from some people.
So science tells us that
6 billion
human
years
has come on this earth 6 billion.
They're not talking. They're talking species like human-like species were found. They got the what I say, the fossils of the human kind of species. So is it not a contradiction between science and the findings of what I say, the religious coming to the world? That Adam, the first man on earth who was created by God, if we tell us in this way that Adam, if it takes 10,000 years for Adam to be on earth, right, and why is it 6 billion years?
There is a conflict between scientific findings
and the religious propagation,
religious stories.
Yes,
suppose.
Can you not what I say completely abandon this very word? I mean, when we're talking about the communist world, the communist people are telling that egalitarianism or the primitive communism was the best form of society, and that's why people like Karl Marx, people like Lenin, Trotsky.
These are two different questions. The advent of human civilization on this earth, the time frame, and the communist claim that people were egalitarian, and communism was there. The primitive human society was a communist society. And that was bad for you. You want to discuss together.
Yes, I want to make a nexus between the. I mean, actually, at the end of the day, I'm just going to the conclusion about the consistency or the relevancy of the existence of God at all. In fact, I'm not just going to the rationalist position that who created God, something like this. These are pretty much weird question to me, because we are in a society today, we are in a world where people, you have got two kind of implications, theoretical as well as practical implications. We can discuss these thousands of years after years about the theoretical issues. It's just endless discussions. But when you are coming forward the practical implications, which is kind of political philosophy, which is the real development of the world, human history, then it is going to be a very
how can God be fitted there?
That's what I'm telling you. That
scenario.
Of course, there are also the things that.
What is God there in human history?
Yes. Prophet Muhammad, he was born there.
Human people worshipped God, but we can interpret the human history without referring to God.
Yeah.
From a communist point of view, I suppose.
Yeah.
And we are discussing this to make the thing clear. Not that we are communist, not that we are believer, or personally who are we.
Yes.
We are just making the points clear.
Yes. So I want to say that communism has failed to some extent. The communist people who love Karl Marx, they will be telling that it was the political structure of Soviet Union because of the mismanagement.
Which has failed, but communism has not failed.
Theoretically, communism has not failed. Islam has not failed. Buddhism, Hinduism, no religious, even the secularism. That's why today the world people, actually the political philosophers, as well as the other thinkers, they are telling that secularism is the best basis to actually continue the world, right? People like human civilization. When you are just what I say,
political theory.
But at the end of the day, secularism is pretty much a weird thing, because when you are secularizing, what about the democracy? Are not secularism and democracy two incompatible things? Because in a democratic society like Bangladesh, we have 90% people who are Muslims. You cannot actually rule out the religious belief system, religious rituals from people's mindset at a time. You can just what I say, personalize their religious beliefs. But I mean, when you are just making it a compatible format with religion and secularism, isn't it going to be an incompatible
incompatible? Of
yes.
course, incompatible. So let me put some opinions on these issues or questions. Firstly, the age of human civilization on this earth, the conflict between science and religion. Actually, this is a conflict between biblical story,
yes,
and science, not the Quranic story.
Yes.
Okay. In the Quranic story, there is no time frame.
Yes.
Nothing is described there. There is a prophetic narration which we call hadith about the time frame, but Islam is based on Quran, and Quran doesn't matter to describe the history. It just speaks about some pieces of history as stories or parables to give some lessons,
yes,
not to describe the history.
right.
So it doesn't matter it is 6,000 years or 6 million years or 6 billion years.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. Humanity and human enterprises are the more important and focused thing in the Quran.
Yes.
Okay. Then come to the question in the real history of human life. Why does God fit there?
Yes.
One thing is that I told a bit earlier that people worshipped God. Not all people, but
it's inherent in
significant
yes.
number of people worshipped God. That doesn't mean that God is there, and because people worshipped God, there must be a God. People do think that there are ghosts, there are fairy tales and mothers. People believe in so many things. Some people do believe that there are aliens. That doesn't mean that there are really aliens there. Okay. Even if satisfies our mentality, or it is a good story to listen about. So why does God fit in the history of a human civilization? Look, it fits very well.
So isn't it a problem for the people
let me
of
put
other
it.
faiths?
Let me put it. What is the history of humankind? Forget about the time frame. People were in the cave. They were primitive.
Yeah, primitive.
And then they discovered fire, and then discovered the cultivation tools. They have become in this civilizational format that we see right now.
Yes.
Okay. So there could be a question, the why question. You see, the philosophers, they deal with the why question.
Yes.
Why man has developed in this way? Why man has developed civilization? Why man has developed philosophy? Why man has got science? Why man is debating about the world?
Yes.
Why man has come, beyond his natural habitat and territory. No animal has come beyond his territory. No animal is concerned beyond his basic instincts, suppose.
Yes.
Other animals, some animals has language, but this language is not developed.
Yes.
Other animals has some mentality, some ideas, some psychological things, but those things are very much limited and centered in their basic instincts and their habitat. Why man has civilization? Why man has philosophy? It doesn't need to be an atheist or theist or a believer or disbeliever. Why man has philosophy? Why man is the best creature? Why?
Yes.
The answer may be that if man is the selection of the nature. Answer could be that man is the son of God or creation or God or vicegerent of God, so and so. But man is significant.
Yes.
Man is different.
Right.
And there is no second one.
Yes.
Why?
Can
Why?
you not
So if we look the history, we see the events after events. But why the event happens? What is the underlying principle there? Who is playing? Who is contributing?
Right. In this case.
So a human baby becomes a human person. No training can make a monkey baby to be a human person like. It becomes a monkey.
Yes, ultimately.
Okay. But with training, proper training, a human baby could be a human being with so many capacities.
Right.
So it has the potentiality. Who has given the potentiality? History is the sequence of events. Why events happen in this way rather than being another way?
Yes.
Someone is playing.
Right.
Someone is playing.
So why God is playing with us?
So
Why? Why?
That is a different question.
Yes.
Existence of God is a question. Why God is doing and playing in this way, that is a different question.
Right.
That is the problem of evil and the other question. Then come to the third point of your query. The primitive society was a communist society. What is an egalitarian society? So who is the culprit? Who has contaminated that very good society and has, you know, given rise to this, you know, bad society with the exploitation and so many things?
Yeah.
Who is the culprit? Who is the problem? And surprisingly, you will get the culprit. The problem is the science, is the technology, is the philosophy. So you are demonizing science and philosophy to end to collapse the primitive communist society. So the very narrative of communist concept of history is problematic. And then come to the last question. What is the last question?
So I want to actually discuss this very thing over here, and we can actually end up our
the
speech.
Last point. What
you are
was the
missing.
last point there?
You are talking about actually the existence of God. I mean, if the God actually wants to, what I say, if God, I want to say, you're talking about the political and religious nexus in between the both. I'm just excluding this one. I want to say, I mean, if actually, what I say, if the day of judgment is completed, right? Suppose I want to end the very question here.
You are getting involved with the question of divine role in this world, where there is sorrow, where there is tragedy, where there is negative things, where there is evil. We see so many bad things in the world. How could God be all good when there is bad things in the world, where there is, unnecessary things, where there is brutal things, where there is unreasonable things, why the world is in such a way where there is bad things, where there is evil.
Yes.
Who has created evil? Who is controlling the evil? So is God playing with us with evil and good?
Yes.
Okay, this is the question, but we should, I think, discuss it
in the next point. Because the question of God is always very much sensational to the people. We should not be discussing.
It is sensational, but it is very much clear to me, and also I have lengthy discussion on this topic
on YouTube.
Determinism, the question of determinism, the problem of evil, and the role of divinity and God. We can discuss about it later on.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.